pinch the tail, you pull the tail. Pull the tail. Pulling. And then you what? It's like that. Okay. Okay. I survived, number one, so that's terrific. And okay, I'm gonna get a bigger one. That was kind of little. This is a granddaddy. Oh, that's good. All right. The first one I had to get the bejeebies out of me. Now I'm a pro. Watch this. Boom. That's a good one. Oh, that's good. That's good. I got it down now. Give me a whole plate of these bad boys. All right.
So let's take it. You going for the 49ers this weekend?
Yeah. I am kind of hoping they win. Truth be told, I'm actually wearing this Niners jersey until they win the Super Bowl. So if they don't win the Super Bowl this weekend, kind of gonna get smelly for the next year.
So why is it a Steve Young and not a Kaepernick?
Well, because Steve Young was the last quarterback to lead us to a championship. Okay. So it only makes sense. I'm rocking the Young jersey until another quarterback brings home the hardware.
A little 49er history buff right here.
You know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Crawfish Master jersey.
Woo! Crawfish Master. Gonna pound this whole plate. Okay, I'm really not. I'm actually done. But that was fun. I can't believe them doing this.
So I'm sorry.
All right. Apparently, I didn't get enough crawfish, so now I'm gonna hold a live one. Oh. All right. Okay. All right. Here I go. I'm gonna try to hold a live crawfish.
Put your hand down.
I don't know
I'll
how
put it on
to.
the back of your hand.
Okay.
Oh
boy.
Julie, this is the father of what you ate. This is the father of what you ate.
This is the father of what I ate.
He says thank you for eating my child.
Do you have anything to say to me about eating your father?
Help me! Save me!
Turns out your eyes are just as beady, alive or dead. And to think I was just walking by enjoying my time on Radio Row, something's happening! Something's happening on my hand! Something just happened on my hand. I think I just... Well, if he wasn't going to be boiled, he might have... What was happening on my hand? Do you know?
He was just kind of crawling around.
Was he just trying to crawl? Okay, that's enough. That's enough crawfish for me. Oh boy, I am creeped out by that crawfish. All right, I got a bowl of crawfish here, and I will be sharing my crawfish with the guests that come to my radio show because there's a lot of competition, and you have to stand out as a radio show in order to get the good guests. So I will be offering my guests crawfish? That's really all I got. Lorenzo, Neal here on Buehler's day off. Nice to see Arian Foster. When you see a running back like that, do you kind of say, oh man, I'd love to block for that guy?
No question. I start to salivate. I start to get happy, and I'm like, wow, look at this guy. I wish I could play for this guy because, you know, watching Arian Foster and see what he's doing in the National Football League, being an undrafted guy, the things that he went through as a man, and watching his development as an athlete and as a man, more than just football, because football is what he does. It's not who he is, and that's why I had to bow and give him salute because I understand his process, and this guy's constantly maturing as an individual, so I had to give him some thanks.
I love that. You know, I was talking with NFL Films yesterday, and they were asking me about the 2006 season with LaDainian Tomlinson, and the first thing I tell people about watching LaDainian Tomlinson is when you see him on TV, you go, wow, that guy's fast. When you see him play live, your jaw's on the ground. The speed of his acceleration was something to behold. You got to watch that every day. What do you remember about Tomlinson and what a special talent he was?
Yeah, yesterday we talked. We were trying to do dinner last night. Me, Darren Sproles, and LaDainian tried to hook up last night. But just the man is amazing. And it was tough because sometimes you're having a block and you wanted to watch him run because you knew it was interesting when you watch a safety in front of this guy, you knew that this guy didn't have a chance. And you were like, how is LaDainian going to beat this guy? What is he going to do today? What part of greatness are we going to get to watch? So,
you know, the fullback position, a lot of people thinking it's a dying breed, but in the playoffs, we saw some fullbacks getting in the end zone. So talk about the position, how it's changing, and what do you expect to see from it in the future?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to go all the way completely bye-bye. Some teams carry a fullback, some teams don't. These both teams, interesting, that are in the Super Bowl, both have a fullback.
Both scored in the playoffs. You like it, or is it too big?
No, this thing's awesome.
Do you know how to use it?
Not really.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have this Fancy Schmancy phone too.
Because the thing is, with me and phones, I don't read any directions. I'll figure it out. If something happens, I'll go, oh, okay. Yeah, that's it.
Here with Andre Reed, soon-to-be Hall of Famer, Andre Reed?
Well, we'll see. I can't say it's yes or no. I've been talking about this I don't know how many years now. So it's just, my whole sentiment about the Hall of Fame is I'm honored to be in a conversation where somebody thinks that you're, one of the best to ever do it.
Talk about the sentiment that Randy Moss would think he's the greatest wide receiver of all time. Where would you cast him in the litany of wide receivers? And what do you think of a player saying that, something like that?
Well, I'm going to be politically correct. I mean, do I think Randy is one of the greatest of all time? I think he's one of them. Do I think he's the greatest? That's a, an issue, and that somebody else can.
You can say no.
Yeah, somebody. I mean, no, I don't think. I'm not going to say yes or no. I think, Randy Moss, his whole career, he really didn't probably reach the level that he probably wanted to get to. He had even a higher level to get to.
He's Andre Reed, and Reed, my sentiment is you can't call yourself the greatest if you take plays off. And Randy Moss is known for taking plays off, admitting to taking plays off, knowing he's not going to be used. And when you have guys like yourself, Chris Carter, Jerry Rice, in those conversations, really hard-playing receivers, it's hard for me to listen to a guy like that say, I'm the greatest, when he admits to taking plays off.
Well, again, as a former player, I went out and did my job the best that I could. I worked hard, and I took pride in what I did. And I think, when Randy said that statement, he's taking pride. He's taking pride in what he did, and maybe that's his way of doing things. But, I don't talk about any other players. I don't go about saying this about a player, about that about a player. I just worried about what I did on the field when I played.
Former head coach in the NFL, Mr. Dick Vermeil. Coach, first of all, in Palm Springs, California. I know you come out there every now and then, and you love it.
I'd get out there more often. I love it out there. Jim Mora lives there.
Yes, so we love it out there. We also love wine, and you're producing your own wine now. You're a big wine connoisseur.
I'm maybe not a connoisseur, but I love wine. I grew up in the wine business in Calistoga, California, Napa Valley. That's my heritage, and I've turned a hobby into a business now, making 5,000 cases of wine, selling about 3,000 cases a year, and hopefully more in the future.
What do you do with the other two?
Drink them.
Good call, Coach. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup. I was talking with some other retired NFL players, and it's notable that in the NFL right now, where offense is getting all the headlines, you have two big defenses in the Super Bowl. What do you take from that? I mean, you obviously won the Super Bowl with the greatest show on turf, but you also had a good defense that year, too. I think it was number 2 or 3 in the NFL.
It was number 6 in the NFL.
Number 6.
No, we had a good defensive. You don't get here without a good defensive team. Now, you might have certain phases of your whole program that are stronger than others statistically and where you rank. A lot of that depends on how many great offensive teams you had to play during the regular season to be ranked, and if you played too many of them, you're not going to be ranked number 1.
You coached some incredible quarterbacks. What are your statements about the two quarterbacks in this matchup? You have Colin Kaepernick and Joe Flacco. They couldn't be much more different as far as style, but yet both so effective.
Well, they both, when the ball leaves their hand, it goes to the right place, both those guys.
Here with Coach Dick Vermeil. Coach, can you pull the curtain back a little bit for what it's like to be a head coach in this situation?
Well, I think when you get to the Super Bowl, you're normally mature enough and have enough experience to know how to handle it properly. The big thing is do what you've done all year to get here and do the same things. And don't make it any more dramatic than the world makes it. Let the game come to you. And I think the first time I went, I was way too intense, way too emotional, worried about everything. The second time I went with more confidence. I went with more awareness of myself and my team and how to have them ready to play. I had my team and the Eagles ready to play on Wednesday, but the game isn't until Sunday, So, you learn these things through experience.
All right, Coach, I am wearing the 49ers jersey until they win the Super Bowl. So you're giving me a pretty good shot at being able to have a sense of style next year.
Well, right. I was born and raised in the Napa Valley. I grew up with the 49ers. Oh, Frankie Albert, Hugh McElhinney, Joe Perry, Bob St. Clair, Leo Nomalini. You know, I know those. The head coach at one time was Red Hickey of the 49ers. His son played on my high school football team. So I used to go to 49er games on Sunday and sit next to Mrs. Hickey. So, you know, I have a great respect and admiration for the 49ers. And Bill Walsh was one of my closest friends in my lifetime. So I never root against them.
Secretly, you're rooting for them a little bit. That's what I'm hearing. You don't have to admit to it, but that's what I'm hearing. I'm getting that, Coach. I'm getting that.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Take care.
I'm a huge Niners fan, Charlie, and my statement is, by the way, here with Charlie Batch, longtime Steelers quarterback. I'm a huge Niners fan, and I am going to wear the Niners jersey until they win the Super Bowl. You have the benefit of playing for Steelers Nation, an incredible fan base, Charlie. What kind of things have you seen your fans do to show their support for the Steelers, especially because you've got 2 rings, my man?
Right. You're right. So I understand, you know, when you do it because, you know, we do have fans in Pittsburgh that, you know, start to get into that playoff beard mode.
You're only 38 years old. It's very young chronologically, but you've been in the league 15 years, which makes you the oldest non-kicker in the NFL. How do you reconcile that? You're a young guy, Charlie, but not in terms of the NFL years.
Yeah, and now I just kind of laugh. Yeah, well, thank you for reminding everybody. But, I mean, at the end of it, I think it's something to where in the National Football League, when you're 30, they consider you old anyway. Right. And then when you get to 38, you're considered ancient. So, you know, I really just cherish that, you know, and I really welcome it because there's not a lot of people who can say they've been playing since they was, you know, when they're 38.
Now, you have faced against this Baltimore defensive line. You know what Colin Kaepernick is going to be facing come Sunday. What advice would you give Kaepernick in what he's going to face?
Really, I mean, for him, I mean, just stay in manageable third downs because if you get in there, 3rd and long, that's where now you're going to see a lot of the creativity on the Baltimore defense, and that's something that, you know, you don't want to have. They're about deception.
It's been a long time since the Niners have been in the Super Bowl, Charlie, and I'm rocking the Niners jersey until they win the Super Bowl. Will I be taking it off Monday, or will I be keeping it on for 2013?
Uh-oh. But I think when I have to pick this game, I really do not think you'll be taking it off on Monday. So I do think that
he's taking the Ravens.
I'm taking the Ravens.
He tried to do that very nicely, but he's taking the Ravens. Here with Miss America, Mallory Hagan. Now, Mallory, when you imagined that you were the winner of Miss America, did you imagine coming to Radio Row and being around all these radio schmucks and having to do the sports talk radio scene?
Absolutely. I did, absolutely. This is something that I've been doing for a long time. The Miss America organization has been close to my heart since I was about 13. Been competing for a while, so I knew what was coming. And I couldn't be more thrilled to be here and to be a part of the taste of the NFL and to be a part of the Super Bowl weekend.
Talk about sports in America. I mean, it's pretty amazing the culture that we have been developed around sports. You are a former athlete, and it seems like sports are bigger than ever before. You're Miss America, so what does sports mean to you?
Sports mean everything to me. I think that it's a great time for people to kind of put aside their differences, put aside their worries for the day, stop worrying about work, stop worrying about kids, stop worrying about everything. I think it's great when you can sit down in front of the TV, or you can go to your favorite sports space to watch, or you can go to the actual game, and you can just kind of forget your troubles, and we come together as teammates and as camaraderie and have a great time.
Okay, this is the big question because I'm a huge Niners fan and I'm wearing the jersey until the Niners win the Super Bowl. So, do you think I'm taking the jersey off after Sunday night, or I'm going to have to wear it through 2013?
I'm rooting for the Ravens.
You're rooting for the Ravens, so I'm going to be having the jersey on for the next year, according to Mallory Hagan.